I was driving down the 405 and I'm like, yo, this might be the best song I've ever heard. And she was like, oh, really? Cool. And I was like, yo, she hates me. What's up, everybody? My name is Byron Wilson. I'm a music manager, and this is Goated. Yo, she needs to do some of that.
How did you get into artist management?
So I grew up in a small town on the west coast of Canada. No music industry there, really. It was kind of like I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. I was like, yo, I just want to make some money and just like not grind at college doing something that I hated. But luckily I had a homie, still to this day, one of my best friends. His name's SonReal. He was an artist. Looking back on it now, like I definitely attached myself to him and hung out with him. At that time still, like management wasn't a thing in my mind. I didn't even know what a manager was. And then shortly after I approached Son and was like, yo, let me help you do whatever you need. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what that looks like. Booking shows or selling your merch or whatever. Like, just let me be involved. He was like, say less, let's do it. I started just by like cold calling nightclubs. Some nights there'd be 100 people in the room, some nights there'd be 10. But like we would just take the money, stash it in a savings account, and then just like go do it the next weekend, go do it the next week, and go do it the next week. Didn't know anything about the business, very DIY.
How did you land your first record deal?
Long story short, there was this program in Canada called Much Fact, and they would give grants for music videos. We were in Toronto one time recording at the Remix Project. This dude, Mauricio Ruiz, popped his head in. He's like, I'm eavesdropping, I heard the record you guys are doing. I have a production company. I'd love to do the music video for the song. Ruiz and I and SonReal started just having a roll with music videos, and we were just like dumping them out, and we had a handful of them hit and go viral, which led to us getting our first pub deal and ultimately led to us getting a record deal out of Capitol Records and moving to LA.
What did you learn from your first record deal?
Learned a lot from it. Like I was a young exec going into the very first record deal, never been in one. Built this deal that seemed good at the time on paper, and it was, but getting a building to move, that was like my first kind of learning experience of just like, yo, the building doesn't move without like serious momentum. And that serious momentum is like your job. You can think it's theirs, but like if you wait for them to do it, it's not gonna happen. One thing I can always give us and take away from it is that like, make sure your team is tight. If you have that like thought in your mind that the label is additive and you're not relying on them to get content done, to make the music, to book the studio, to record the records, to get the production, like if you're not relying on them to do that, you'll be okay. It's when you like lean on the label for everything that it's like, yo, because if it doesn't work, they're gone.
How do you build a strong team?
I read this book, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Built It. One thing he said, he's like, you'll never be replaceable if you're always bringing in the irreplaceable people. If you're making sure that everybody around you is better at shit than you are, you'll always take credit for like building the best team.
How did you start managing Jessie Reyez?
She was just like bartending, busking, making music, and she shot a music video and she spammed it to like everybody on Facebook. Rui started sending me music and was like, yo, like I found this girl, she's really dope. I'm thinking about managing her. What do you think of the music? And I was like, bro, this all sounds fire. Like, she's great, like very unique voice, tone is crazy, sounds like she's a crazy writer. You know, fast forward maybe like 6 months or a year, they approached me and were just like, yo, we've been stashing these records, an EP, would love to have you involved. We've never really put out records before. Like, you're here, you've done this a handful of times, would love you to come on board. And I was like, bro, like I would love to. Like at that point I was like a fan. I had like seen her work, I had seen her perform, I'd seen Jessie, and I was like, yo, there's something about Jessie that is inexplainable. And I had just seen her perform acoustic guitar in like in my living room. And it was like, you know, when it makes like the hair on your neck stand up or like gives you shivers, or you're just like, you remember like I can go back to that moment.
Describe the first time you heard Figures.
The first time she flew out to LA and me and her were like officially like manager artist. I picked her up from the airport. She had been going through some shit and was just like down, and she gets in the car and I'm like, oh man, like I'm like, yo, she's bummed out, this is awkward. She's like, yo, let me play you something from the trip. And I was like, okay, cool. She plugs in her phone and she plays Figures. It's the first song she ever played for me like live in the flesh. And I was driving down the 405 and I'm like, yo, I'm trying not to sound like the cheesy LA music industry guy, but this song's gonna change your life. Like I try not to say this is a fucking smash, but I was like, yo, dog, this might be the best song I've ever heard. And she was like, oh, really? Cool. And I was like, yo, she hates me. I'm corny, you know? And I was like, this has to be the first thing. Lead with your best foot forward, and this is the best shit. Like, just start with this.
What makes Jessie Reyez stand out?
The subject matter of her music, it's just so authentic, and it's really coming from like a pure place. She never does anything with the intent of her getting something in return. Whether she intentionally tries to speak to her fans or not, it's just her being authentic, but she's almost like speaking for these people. And that's rare, and I don't know how you I don't think you can teach an artist that. I think they have to like find that themselves. Also, I think with Jessie, we started early. Like we went out and she's played the 250 cap rooms all over the country. She's done, you know, her first tour was in an 8-passenger van with a trailer. And so she has built it one step at a time, and people have grown with her during that journey. So she just hasn't skipped steps.
What do managers actually do?
Every single thing that you see an artist do, from their tour to their social media to their late night TV to whatever press they do to if they put out a book to shoot a music video, all of that passes through management. I mean, on a day-to-day, we have this daily social media discussion that usually happens the night before, and we set up the social posts for the next couple of days. You're working with the tour, the booking agent and the promoter to like, you know, bring in offers for other shows, work on tour routing, and then, you know, there's always those conversations with the artist of like, yo, where are you at with the music? What's next? How do we put this out? What's the story? What's the world? All that stuff is a day-to-day manager's duties. And then on top of that, you're the point guard at the label, basically, on the calls with everybody every single week, whether it's publicist, lawyer, label, booking agents, promoters. You're their spokesperson for the artist, more or less.
Proudest achievement in your career?
I'm really proud of the tour that we just finished. We're halfway through it, really, but we finished the North American or the US dates of Jessie's album tour. We sold 100,000 tickets. Coming out of like the COVID era of like, you're just staring at numbers all day. It's very fulfilling to like put in a whole bunch of work on something and then show up to the show and people are screaming the words back at you. So that always makes me the most proud of like, yo, like 5,000 people just came to see this. Like that's crazy, because I've seen it from 50 people and it's still got room to get even bigger.
You're given a $1,000 marketing budget. What do you do with it?
So I'm putting $600 into content, maybe $500 into content. I'm shooting a shit ton of clips, and then I'm gonna just dump them out, 1 or 2 a day, maybe 1 a day to make it last longer. The one that reacts the best, throw money at that, on that. And the $500 in content could be like, go grab a guy with a camera, rent like a studio space, or like even do it out on the street and just knock them out. What's up, Rip? It's the first time you've acknowledged me.
What not to do in the music industry?
I'm trying to think of some don't do's, but like, I'm also an advocate for just like, fail faster. Jessie always says this. She's like, yo, fail faster. Like, try. If it doesn't work, move on.
Industry icks?
One of my industry icks is going into a situation with the anti-fuck the label attitude. You did the deal, so you're not fuck the label. So don't bring that into the relationship. Sure, it can be a strenuous relationship, but you don't work a job anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you have money in the bank, they're spending the money on the videos, it's not coming out of your pocket.
Hurdles of working long distance?
I think one of the hurdles has been like artists working long distance with producers, which became a big thing during the pandemic, was like just staying productive and not having to be with the person. During the pandemic, SonReal, he built a house back home where we grew up and built a studio in his house, and he does a lot of remote sessions using Muse.
Overlooked GOAT?
Yo, an overlooked GOAT is Michael Rapino. He's Canadian, he's from Thunder Bay, but he's the CEO of Live Nation. And that motherfucker has built something unbreakable and honestly like unfuckwittable. You can say what you want about Live Nation being a monopoly and like owning everything, but from somebody who works with them on touring, like, god damn, do they make your life easy. And like, it works. He's changed the way people tour, changed the way people buy tickets, whether you like it or not, but it's also put more money in artists' pockets because touring is not cheap.
What's next for you?
You know, for any artists that are watching this, or I should say for any managers also that are watching this, when an artist is looking for management, often this big shiny like manager at the end of the table is appealing, but I think you're gonna have better results if you just like look amongst who's closest to you. And that's sort of what I'm looking for. I wanna like attach myself to more people like that and be the mentor, like the system that a manager could plug into. I would love to just help younger managers start with their artist.
Advice for young managers.
Listen to people who are more experienced in a certain area than you are. Obviously, you can have your vision, you can stick to it. Don't let somebody change that. But take advice, be open to it, and you gotta be cool to fuck up. I think one thing that I didn't do early on when I had the opportunity is attach myself to mentors. That could have probably helped me early in the days. Don't do this shit if you want it to happen quick, because it can take you 5-6 years to see anything out of it or more. And I would say you just have to keep your head down, man. You can't attach yourself to results. We're in an era where you gotta just keep going. That day of like, my first shit's gonna be my biggest shit is like gone. Just do this. And you'll probably have some of these, but like, just try to level up every time. Yo, Ripley is chilling. Does Ripley sleep standing up? I think she's asleep. What's up, girl?